Time now for the Left of Lansing Monday Musing for June 9th of 2025. I'm Pat Johnston. A recent lake effect poll unveiled by Progress Michigan reveals something I kind of already figured. Unlike many corporate and political insiders in the state, not that many working class Michiganders get all hyped up for the annual Mackinac Policy Conference held on Mackinac Island, away from those of us considered the rabble. Now, it's basically just a lot of corporate stooges backslapping each other and whining and dining all of the politicians who decide on going there. And according to that lake effect poll, nearly 70% of respondents said they either somewhat or strongly oppose lawmakers traveling to the island to make decisions that affect all of us in the state. I mean, this should make sense to many out there. This really shouldn't be breaking news. I mean, there was a panel of all of the candidates running to become the next mayor of Detroit being held on Mackinac Island. I mean, that's a 300-mile distance from Detroit, 4 hours by car, and considerably less if you're able to get a private jet, I suppose. But how does this conference help Michiganders, and when did this conference ever help Michiganders? I was visiting my dad in the Ann Arbor area when the Mackinac Policy Conference was happening a couple of weeks ago, and the local TV news down there sent reporters to cover the spectacle, and the channel that we were watching featured the local Detroit reporter on the front porch, or the balcony, I guess, of the Grand Hotel. And behind them were all of these people sitting and enjoying themselves, and I'm sure they were, considering the money that's probably shelled out for such an event. For instance, just listen what you missed. Dear Leader's ambassador to Canada, Pete Hoekstra, the former congressman out there in West Michigan, spending time telling all of the very serious and very important people up there that his boss's tariffs aren't really that big of a deal and that this too shall pass. Oh well, while having another brandy and cigar, I'm sure Pete feels like these tariffs mean nothing to him, but it does to the working class. University of Michigan economists warn that the tariffs could cost somewhere around 13,000 jobs in the state, which I don't seem to recall Dear Leader or Boy Wonder J.D. Vance touting when they traveled through the state last November. And Canadians aren't apt to travel to Michigan right now since Dear Leader implemented his 25% tariff on our neighbors to the north. You see, we rely on some $400 million from Canadians traveling to Michigan. But I suppose to Pete Hoekstra, everything is fine since his stock portfolio probably has done better, considering he probably receives a heads up whenever Dear Leader announces a tariff freeze or a tariff increase. That's just dumb luck, I know. Or during that week on the island, you could have heard man-baby Michigan State House Speaker Matt Hall saying how he wants our universities to be attracting and working to gain Michigan students, yet at the same time he celebrates his Dear Leader's constant attacks on and defunding of our state's universities. And then there's that Detroit News report last week detailing how the corporate elite and the richest right-wing families in the state set up a secret slush fund to help state Republicans in 2020. Hey, they're the law and order party. For example, the Detroit News' Craig Mauger reports how back in 2020, a DTE energy official promised former Republican State Majority Leader Mike Shirkey, you remember him, a cool $100K from a nonprofit tied to DTE. And this was all done in the dark, and we wouldn't even know about it if not for a criminal trial. Now, of course, and to be fair, many state Democrats also accept donations from DTE and Consumers Energy, which both continue to beg for additional rate increases. Just think about how much money we wouldn't have to pay for their less than reliable energy service if they would just cut out all the lobbying. Working class Michiganders hear all of this, and it's no wonder they don't feel like someone out there is representing them. I mean, come on, though. Be reasonable, Michiganders. At least these lawmakers and lobbyists were working very hard, trying to find ways to make our lives better, while they enjoy nothing but the best of the best up there on Mackinac Island. It's a tough job, but I guess somebody's got to do it. And remember, they work that hard for you. leftoflansing@gmail.com is the best way to reach me. Subscribe to the podcast and also subscribe to Left of Lansing on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, the Gram, and Facebook. Take the battle to them.